Hello guys, it's that dividend investor coming at you with another dividend investing video. Happy Monday. Catch is you can't have a great green day in the market because markets are closed today. It's President's Day. So markets are closed in observance of President's Day. Not a big deal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use Friday's specs because I was a good uncle and hung out with my niece all day. Um, it's such a burden. I love her so much. But so I didn't record on Friday because when I get a chance to hang out with my niece, I'm gonna put other things aside. So she takes priority. So I'm gonna use Friday's specs for Monday, and then tomorrow when the market opens, I'll continue the week. So we're using Friday's specs today. Um, so on Friday we were down about $70, and we gained $10 when the market opened again. So that's not too bad. I can handle fluctuation. $99 on the week. We're up, down 257 or almost 1.5% on the month. Not that big of a deal. And then we gain it again back on the 3 month mark. $98 increase. 0.6% of the portfolio, or a gain, 0.6% gain. Then this is where it really gets crazy. So since a year ago, we're up $2,306 and then 51 cents, or 16.1%. That's near double what the S&P returns. I mean, it goes. They say average is 7 to 10%, so that is doubling the S&P 500 in a year, which is great. And all time, which this is crazy. This is almost 2 years of investing, guys. Like, I started filming in October. So I started filming about a year and a half into my, a little later than that, but about a year and a half into my journey, and I'm like, I should just record these on YouTube because I go through the specs every day anyway. I might as well just record it, right? So almost 2 years in the market. We're up $2,000 since inception of this portfolio, up 14%, which is again about double the S&P 500. Sorry, my friend's talking to me. But about double the S&P 500, and we're almost on our 2 year anniversary. So that's phenomenal. That just makes me super excited. I'm super passionate about stock investing, and I waited to start filming. I should have filmed in the beginning, but you guys would have laughed because I made a lot of mistakes, and I still will. But I'm a lot more seasoned than I was before. Quote, the longest yard. So let's go into the individual stocks here. Keep in mind these are specs from Friday, but we're still going to use them. 98 shares, $4,400 of equity, 45.30 is our average cost. Pretty much 27% of the portfolio is an Altria stock. Down 41 on Friday, down 7 total. Not bad. Coca-Cola, this one's going to be like a 15 to 20% of my portfolio when it's all said and done. 17 shares, $1,000 of equity, 51.10 is our average cost. 6% of the portfolio is in Coca-Cola, so we're gonna almost triple this. We're gonna pretty much triple this percentage. So this one's gonna be pretty big in the portfolio. I love Coca-Cola, so and I will always be an advocate for it. Love the history, love the product. So I'm a huge fanboy of Coca-Cola. Up $5 on Friday, up $150 all time. 17% return on investment from this stock, which is great. And that doesn't include I think around 4% dividend yield that I get. So that does not include dividends. So that's even higher. So it's even higher than 17%, but that's awesome. Because dividends aren't factored into your overall return. Then we have AT&T, which dropped a teeny bit. We have 62 shares, almost $2,400 of equity. 31.10 our average cost. 14% of the portfolio is in AT&T. This one too, I would not mind building up. I love telecom. I think people will pay their phone bill no matter what. So I think it's a very good steady stream of income. Plus we get the Time Warner assets working for us as well. Bought this during the acquisition, and the reason is because people freak out when acquisitions happen. There's a lot of good that comes with that, but you also take on the company's debt. So there's a lot of it's really hard to kind of gauge what's going to happen when you do an acquisition or when you are in on an acquisition. Generally what happens is the company that's being bought goes up and the company that buys goes down, even if it's a good acquisition. So I think this is a phenomenal acquisition because this it really diversified them. So I love the acquisition. I was actually going to buy either Disney or Time Warner for my entertainment stock anyway, so this just made it easier for me. 62 shares, almost $400 of equity. 31.10 is our average cost. 14% of the portfolio is in AT&T stock, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, this This and Coca-Cola, I don't mind being more than that. Down $3.72. Total, we're up $443 or almost 23%, which is great. So, awesome there. Abbvie, just like AT&T, has been a rocket ship, not coming down. Down $1.30, but that's not down from where I'm at. That's the crazy part. So if you own Abbvie, you lost, maybe not lost money, but your stock went down a decent amount. Mine has to drop over $20 to get to my average price, which I'm pretty salty about. It's funny because the companies that I really love, like AT&T, Coca-Cola is not as bad, but I love AT&T. I love Abbvie. The two stocks that I was kind of fanboying over for a while, they just took off, and I'm like, I don't want to touch them now. It sucks. I got to find new investments. Um, but I have 60 shares, 50, almost 5,700, 56 to $5,700 of equity. 72.22 is our average cost. 34% of the portfolio is an Abbvie stock, which that's going to get trimmed way down. $75 lost on Friday, but we're up 1,300 total. So this is the fun of dividend investing, because the reason that 33% is crazy to me, because in older videos, I believe Altria and Abbvie were both around 27%. So this investment has gone up to 6% more in my portfolio just due to appreciation, which is crazy. So like, I'm okay with it being that high in the portfolio. It will get trimmed down due to other stocks being bought, but that's crazy that it took off that much. Like, that's insane. It added 6% of my overall. It took up 6% more of my portfolio than it had like 2 months ago. That's insane. Then we have SKT, and this one's one of my favorites right now too. So we lost about 9 cents on the portfolio. Not a big deal. So the reason I love dividend investing is because of course, dividend investing. So I'll go into that in a little bit, but I'll just run through the specs, and then I'll show you why I'm super excited about it. Skip that. 5 shares, $65 of equity, $15.30 my average cost. 30.39% of the portfolio is an SKT. That is going to go way up. Negative 45 cents on Friday, negative $11 total, which is phenomenal. So I like when I'm down because I'm a dividend investor. So as long as I don't cut the dividend, if the price goes down, my dividend goes up, technically. So the lower the price, the higher the yield. The issue with that is you don't want to get into yield traps. You want to buy good profit producing companies, and I think SKT is going to be just fine. So that's why I'm excited. But I'll go into why I'm so excited about it at the end of the video. Next, we have Target. This one, just like AT&T and Abbvie, I am a super fan of, but I'm not touching it for a while. I have 10 shares, almost $1,200 of equity, $87.68 is the average cost, $7% of the portfolio is in Target stock. We're down $16 today, or Friday. Total, we're up almost 300, so 33%. We're up 33%, which is crazy. ExxonMobil is the down dog of the portfolio. I will be getting paid by them on March 10th. 29 shares of ExxonMobil, $1,800 in equity, $73.50. About 11% of the portfolio is in ExxonMobil, down $7.25 on Friday, down $371 or 17.4% total. Next, we have Walgreens, $52.90. Lost some cash on Friday, not a big deal. We only have 1 share. This is going to be one of those that I do build up. $52.90 of equity, $54.60 is our average cost. Just like ExxonMobil, Walgreens is a great buy right now, just like SKT is. So they're all down. Lost 67 cents on Friday, lost $1.70 total, but I have 1 share. So to me, the reason that this is funny is because Walgreens kind of fluctuates between that like $50 to $54 range a lot. It seems like it's kind of funny because so like with like stocks with like Abbvie or AT&T, like of course the fluctuations look a lot bigger because I have more equity in those stocks. So the moves are going to be more aggressive. But Walgreens actually fluctuates a lot more than I thought it would. I mean, and it's not horrible fluctuations. I just mean like for the quantity I have in other stocks, it is kind of interesting how much Walgreens really fluctuates. Like it lost 70 cents. Like that's kind of a lot for 1 share. And you know what I mean? Just to watch the specs of it go up and down as much as it does for Walgreens is just kind of interesting. So we have one share, and we're down on it. Not a huge deal. So that is the end of my portfolio, and the only thing that I've added is Berkshire, and I think I talked about it again on Thursday. But the reason I added them and I made an exception is because he actually owns a lot of the dividend stocks that I want to own. Like the thing is, so I don't like banks. So I don't want to be overexposed to banks. I don't really want to own them, right? One of the things that I understand about investing is it's very good to be diversified. And in my opinion, I think the Berkshire Hathaway, just the company, is just as good as the S&P. And so he owns a lot of private companies and he owns part ownership in some of the companies that I like a lot. So we're talking like Geico for insurance. He owns Dairy Queen. He owns like Burger King. Owns a lot of Apple. Just bought stock in Amazon. And he's in like every major bank. So owning this stock would get me great exposure to those without being over leveraged to banks. The only thing that does kind of bother me about owning Berkshire, there's a couple things. A couple of the stocks that he is really big on, I already have in the portfolio. So I'll kind of be over or double allocated to those. Meaning Coca-Cola is a big one for him. American Express is really big for him. And then I believe he owns some Target, but Coca-Cola and American Express are huge for him, and so is Apple. So, but I don't really want to buy Apple. I'd rather buy, because here's the other thing. Think about this too. This is crazy. Apple's $3.25 a share. Berkshire owns I think it was 5 to 7%, I believe, of that company. He just woke up one day and said, I'm buying 5% of Apple, which I'd love to be that rich. But why would I not? How much money? Here's the thought process behind just the Apple investment. Actually, the whole a share of Berkshire is 226, right? They own, like I said, Duracell, Dairy Queen. I believe he owns some of Microsoft. Just a lot of companies, guys. Like See's Candy, and he's huge on Coca-Cola. But I would be willing to buy Berkshire just for the allocation of Apple. You can buy a share of Berkshire nearly $100 cheaper and get a 5% allocation from Berkshire to Apple. So this is actually a really good technical value play because they hold Apple stock for you technically. You don't have to buy it at $300 a share. So, and also you get the great investing minds of Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger and their cabinet. So that's great too. But you get a lot of great value companies. I'm a huge fan of Buffett's investing style, and this is one of the only. This and Google are probably the two growth stock companies that I will end up purchasing at some point in my investing career. So I'm a huge fan of Google, but I love Berkshire Hathaway. So, and the man's sitting on straight cash. So again, think about it this way: how much money do you have? Probably average investors say you're putting $100 in a month, right? The dude's sitting on millions of dollars, like millions, it's just insane. So think about how you would allocate millions of dollars in dividends, and then think about having one of the best investing minds in the history of investing, allocating that money for you and he holds stocks that you're a fan of that the holding company's cheaper than the companies you want to buy. That's insane. So anyway, that's kind of my thought process. I'm a huge fan of Apple, but thinking about it just live on the video, Apple's $100 more. So I'm dinging Apple, and I'm just going to buy Berkshire Hathaway. Because I get more than, that's the thing too, you get more than just Apple at less than $300 a share. So for me, it's just a no-brainer. So, sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant about Berkshire there, but I was just thinking about it live, and I'm like, dang, it's $100 cheaper, and I get I think he owns 500 companies. He's like the S&P 500. He's so diversified, it's crazy. So, huge Berkshire fan. So that's about the only thing that I've added to the watch list. Everything is an aristocrat or a king. So I'm happy with it. And now to go into the nitty gritty of why I love dividend investing. So we're gonna go to the we're gonna click out. No, we're going to go ahead and go to the history. And we're going to go ahead and go to dividends. And so I believe I said it earlier, but Abbvie didn't pay me, little stinkers. Didn't pay me until like 10:30 on Friday. So I had no chance to reinvest into the market. So I was waiting to film the video until I got every dividend that day. Well, Abbvie was stingy with the payment and didn't pay me until late, so I couldn't reallocate those funds. And so I'm going to go back to SKT stock for a minute here, but I'll show you exactly why I love dividend investing. So as you can see, my dividend payments, I am getting one from ExxonMobil at about $25, which is great. That's just going to sit there and be cash. But Abbvie paid me $70. Then SKT paid me $1.78, and AT&T at the beginning of the month paid me almost $32. Right? So I made $100 this month passive income, or I should say interest income, because it is passive. I'm not working for it, but think of dividend investing like a credit card almost. Like you have to pay interest on your credit card, but dividend stocks pay you the interest technically, because this is interest on my money. So like when you put your money into a CD and you get 3.2%, this is my 3.2%, but the issue with the CD is you can't take it out till it's done. I get to accrue that interest on a monthly basis and reallocate it back into the CD technically, or back into the company is kind of how I think of it. So anyway, so I got paid all these dividends, right? So what did I do with them? I decided that I'm going to put it back into a stock. Well, I'm going to put it back into an undervalued stock. And I had this recorded, but I deleted it because somebody called me during the video. But SKT, if you saw, you probably saw the plus right there, right? So what happened is I allocated my funds to SKT stock because check out the price, right? Right. So it is at 1303 right now, which is 2 cents above the bottom. Now, I have a market order for 7 shares at 1368. My average cost is 1529. So here's why I love dividend investing right here. I'm using the interest that companies are paying me, companies I don't work for. I technically lent them money and held it in their stock. They paid me dividend money, which is interest on my money, and I'm going to re-put that interest to make more interest. But here's the thing. I had to work for the initial money to put into the stock. But I didn't go to Tangent Factory Outlets and work. I didn't go to Abbvie. I didn't go to a pharmaceutical company to work this month. Like, I didn't have to go to AT&T and deal with, like, customer service or whatever. Like, these companies are paying me for holding the company. So it's great. So they're paying me interest on the money I've given them, and then I can reallocate that however I want. It's phenomenal. I love dividend investing. So what I've done here with SKT stock is I should have been able to buy 8 shares, but they're being sticklers at Robinhood because there's like a 5% differentiation fee for when the market's closed. So I could have. I'm 32 cents away from buying 8 shares. You can tell I'm salty about it. But so I allocated my funds, right? I bought 7 shares of SKT, and the reason that this is crazy is I doubled my allocation to the stock. I didn't have to put any money into the market. This is just money off my dividend. So I reallocated my dividend money, doubled my share count, and bought it at a lower price. And that means my yield's technically higher on those 7 shares. So I'm going to make more money on those 7 shares than I did on my original 5 because my price is better. So my yield is technically higher. So I did the math. So my additive of 7 shares boosts my payment, right? So I did 3.57 times 7 because I added 7 shares. That's the dividend for SKT. Times 7. I added $2.49 to my dividend payment of 178. So now I'm getting paid $4.27 every single time SKT pays me. So now from here on out, forever, as long as AT&T and Abbvie are overvalued from where I bought them, I'm going to put that dividend money into SKT, and I will forever now, as long as Abbvie and AT&T pay me, will be able to buy 7, now 8 shares because I have more SKT to cover the difference around these prices. So I'm going to use my dividend money now and buy SKT every time I'm paid. I can add 7 shares, and that will add an extra $10 because it's about $2.50 every payment, right? I get paid 4 times a year. So 2, 4, it'd be 5 and then 5. So $10 a year times 4. So I'm going to make now $40 plus because they have a dividend history of increasing. So they're a dividend aristocrat. So this year I'll make $10. Next year I might make 12 or 11 or 12 or whatever. So I'm now in a cycle where I'm forever, as long as they pay their dividends, forever going to be in a money-making cycle. So I'm using my interest to buy more money, to buy more stocks that pay me more interest. And on top of that, so that's one way I'm making money. So I'm using my money to give me more interest to make more money, right? So there's one. So I'm using money to make money. Then, not only that, I'm adding to I'm adding to the payment. So now I'm getting more dividend payments from that. So I'm using the interest from my original stuff to add more, which gives me more interest, right? So I'm boosting my share count. So I'm adding interest. And then the great thing is they have a dividend growth history, right? SKT's paid for 25 years and counting and increased that. So I'm now made a cycle of making more money. Then if they boost their dividend, then I get more of a payment. And then if I buy lower than that, then my dividends increase because the yield goes up. So I get paid. The lower I buy it at, the higher the dividend yield if the dividend stays the same. So I have 3 different ways of making money. And then there's a fourth thing too, that compounds. So I make $10 a year, but $10 this year, like I said, could go to 11. So I'm using my money to buy more shares. If those shares accrue, I make money. Then if that dividend increases, I make more money. And then the compounding effect will make me more money as well. So I technically have 4 things making me money. I have interest, and then I have compounding, and then stock appreciation, and dividend increases. Compounding is the strongest one, but that's why I love dividend investing. So anyways, guys, that's the plan. Every 2, 5, 7, 10, I think. No, 2, 5, 7, 11 is to buy 7 shares of SKT forever until either Abbvie or AT&T go back down. So yeah, that's my goal, and that's why I love dividend investing. So anyways, guys, sorry, I know I ranted a little bit about the dividend income and Berkshire Hathaway, but I'm just having fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you do love dividend investing and you want to show appreciation for the consistency of the videos, hit the like button. It really means a lot to me. Hit the subscribe button. When you do, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any dividend investing content. Guys, I just want to say real quick, right here at the end, thank you so much to all the new subscribers. I went from like 130 to like 140 something, I think, in like in a weekend. So it's just great. So it's nice to see that when I don't put out new content sometimes, because family, I still get views, right? People are still watching and people still care, and it's just great. So the goal with the YouTube channel is actually the same goal that I have with my dividend investing channel, dividend investing, is that I'm going to make so much content here that it's going to compound, right? And I'm not going to have to always come out with a video in order to get views and to gain subscribers. Same thought process with the dividends. Just like I said with SKT today, I'm using interest to buy more shares, and then those more shares are going to increase my interest. And if I get any dividend payments, if I get any dividend increases, those are going to go up, and then that's going to compound. Same thing with the YouTube channel. I'm going to make content. People hopefully will watch the content if they enjoy it. If I make enough content, people will find me off that old content, and I won't always have to keep on allocating money. I mean, in the metaphor, eventually the content is going to make it so I'm not dependent on making content, right? Eventually, the money is going to make enough money that I don't have to reallocate funds and keep adding money to it. So it's kind of the same process. So I'm treating YouTube like I treat my portfolio, and I think it'll pay off. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Just wanted to say thank you and let you know how appreciative I am. So thank you guys so much for watching. Markets are closed today for President's Day, but tomorrow we will we'll analyze the SKT market buy that we queued up. And we're just going to keep on rolling. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in another dividend investing video. Take care.